came to me and said, if I were you, I would have gotten an abortion. Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Ren and welcome to my channel. I've been wanting to do this video for a really long time. Finally got around to doing it. As you guys can tell by the title, this is my pregnancy story. I got pregnant at 17, my senior year in high school. I had my daughter at 18, like a month after I graduated. And let's get right into it because I don't like long story times. So I met my daughter's dad in the 10th grade. We had chemistry class together. And we started dating in the 11th grade. I found out I was pregnant November 14th of 2018. All of October, I just knew something was up. Had a lot going on in October. I got my cycle at the beginning of the month, like I always did. But then toward the end of the month, I just felt very weird. Like my body just didn't feel like my body anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a month, wait till my next cycle is supposed to come, then take a pregnancy test. And that's what I did. And not even a minute and a half later, it was positive. My daughter's dad was the first one to find out. He was excited. I was excited. I didn't think it was real, but at first I didn't think it was real. But yeah, we were both excited. We both agreed and wanted to keep it like low key, like in regards to school and stuff, because people talk already, you know. And so we wanted to enjoy, you know, the fact that we were having a child. We had to keep it to ourselves as much as possible, basically. I was scared to tell my parents, as one would be, 17 years old. I didn't know how I was going to tell them. I didn't know how he was going to tell his parents. But December came around and my mom had asked me 3 times total if there was anything I wanted to tell her. Because she knew something was up. Our dog was acting weird around me and she could just tell something was different. And the first 2 times I kind of brushed her questions off and ignored her. And the last time I kind of took it as my opportunity to just tell her, like, hey, yeah, whatever, you know, so it is what it is. So she asked me, like, she was in bed and I had brought her some food and she was like, hey, you know, are you sure you don't have anything to tell me? And I was like, look, clearly you know something's up, so stop asking, right? And it sounds harsh now looking back at it, but I was so scared. I just, like, whatever came out of my mouth was said, you know. And that's when my mom found out. I kind of walked away after I said that because I didn't want to see her reaction, but she told me later on that she cried. I don't remember why, but I have an idea why. So I actually didn't tell my dad. My dad didn't find out till I was 6 months pregnant. My mom told him because I tried, like, I was in the middle of texting him, and I was about to break down crying because I did not know how to press that send button to let him know. And it's like, well, why would you text it to him? It's like, I was so terrified to tell him, but my mom told him for me. He was not happy. He was not happy at all. But you know, obviously things changed over time. My daughter's dad and I actually broke up. When I was about 4 months pregnant, we broke up. And I would always ask him before we broke up, after we broke up, like, when are you going to tell your parents? When are you going to let them know that I'm pregnant? And he just refused to do so. So one day something happened between him and I got mad because of what he did. And I texted his mom and told her that I was pregnant and, like, you know, let her know everything. I don't know how she reacted towards him. That would have to be his, you know, his story or whatever. But she wanted to sit down with us and everything, and we did sit down. Him and his parents and we all sat down and things like that later on. But yeah, I was able to hide my pregnancy from school, like everyone at school and stuff, for 6 months because I was so small, and also because it was during the winter time, so we had hoodies and jackets. But even when I was 4 months pregnant on my 18th birthday, I only had on a shirt and you couldn't tell that I was pregnant. But that's what I want. I wanted to keep it as low-key as possible. Before I even, like, I think 2 months after finding out I was pregnant, there was a rumor going around that I was pregnant. And a guy actually came to me and said, if I were you, I would have gotten an abortion. So I'm pretty happy that I kept it as low-key as possible. I didn't really have a lot of negative comments, and if I did, I either didn't pay attention or they didn't say it to my face or whatever the case was. But I was more concerned about having a healthy, happy baby, happy pregnancy. You know, I already had a lot going on. When I was about 5 months, I think 5 or 6 months pregnant, me and my family got evicted, and I had to go stay with my aunt who lived an hour away from my school. So I'm still going to the same school, but some days I would miss school because my mom couldn't make that drive, or during that time, my school had a tuberculosis outbreak, and I missed the day that it started, and also missed tests to test to see if you had it. So I had to go through a bunch of steps to even get a test done, because when I did get tested, it didn't show up properly. So I had to get an x-ray. And when you're pregnant, you have to get approval from your doctor, because you want to keep as little radiation to your child as possible, and due to the fact that I had ultrasounds and things like that, I had to get approval from my doctor just to get an x-ray to see if I had, you know, TB and all these things. So I had missed school for 2 weeks. I didn't think I was going to graduate. Just with everything going on, I was slacking with my grades as well. Getting evicted, having like these issues with my child's father. He only came to one doctor's appointment, and it's like I didn't expect to be doing like a lot of it on my own. Like I expected him to be there through all the doctor's appointments and, you know, everything. He was there for me through, you know, text messages, but it was just really hard for me because, you know, I'm at a doctor's office and he's in class, and I really want him there with me. But I mean, I obviously made it through, and I did it because I had to, because I missed so much of school, and my grades were kind of slipping. I almost didn't graduate, but I did graduate 8 months pregnant. I walked across the stage and I got my diploma, and then a month later I had my daughter. So it was June 17th. I remember it was Father's Day, and I went to my daughter's dad's house to hang out with him, because even though we weren't together at the time, we were still like, we're still close, you know, we were still best friends, and we still hung out. I went to his house every day after school to wait to get picked up, because I lived so far at the time. So we would still hang out and everything. So I was about 36 weeks pregnant, and it was around 3 p.m. I started feeling these really bad pains in my stomach, and I thought it was Braxton Hicks because I had Braxton Hicks weeks prior. So I was like, oh, this pain isn't that bad. Like, if these are contractions, then this is nothing. So I don't think that it's contractions. So I would constantly go to the bathroom, because it was more so like a pressure, kind of like I thought I had to poop kind of pain. So I was constantly going to the bathroom, and being a female and being pregnant, I would constantly check the stool, always. So I was checking the stool constantly, and at one point there was a little blood, so I was a little concerned, and I texted my mom and I let her know, because she was on her way to pick me up. My mom actually didn't come pick me up to about 12 a.m. June 18th, because something was going on with her car, and then she got pulled over by the police because of her car. So yeah, it was kind of like, it took a minute for her to come and get me. My pain didn't go away. I still didn't think it was contractions though, because it wasn't bad. I didn't feel bad. I ended up going to the bathroom, and I checked the stool, and I saw like something I've never seen before. And I've always seen YouTube videos of women talk about it, and I looked it up, and it was my mucus plug. So I let my mom know, and she's like, are you sure? Because you may not be. And I was like, yeah, I think it's my mucus plug. So she's okay, well, we're going to the hospital, because at first she asked me if I wanted to go. I said, no, these pains don't feel that bad. But, you know, at that point I was like, yeah, it's my mucus plug, like, we should go to the hospital. So she finally gets there to me, and I leave his house, and we're on the way to the hospital. So my mom's bumper fell off, and she couldn't drive her car anymore, basically. So she pulled into the nearest gas station, called an ambulance, and basically was like, you know, my daughter's going to, you know, labor and get to the hospital. Now this time I did not think I was going to labor, but obviously she wanted to get me to the hospital as urgently as possible. So, you know, the dispatcher's asking questions, and, you know, the ambulance finally gets there, and I get in, they check everything, and we get to the hospital. They checked me in, and the lady's like, okay, I'm gonna check your cervix. I'm gonna see, you know, how far you are and everything. And she's like, you're 5 centimeters dilated. And I was just like,
if 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
Well, from the videos I've seen, 10 centimeters is when you're ready to push and give birth. So you're telling me I'm halfway there? So I'm like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to be giving birth so soon. You know, I was only 36 weeks. I didn't even have her baby shower yet. And I was just like, what? So, yeah, she's like, yeah, you're 5 centimeters dilated. You're halfway there. I said, well, if these were contractions, like, this didn't feel like anything. Because they asked me, hey, do you want an epidural or do you want to go on natural? And I said, well, this is all the pain I'm going to feel, you know, during labor and delivery. I don't need an epidural. Like, this is nothing. So they're like, okay. They put me in a labor delivery room, and they broke my water. They gave me morphine because my blood pressure was too high, and that was pretty much it. So I got some sleep, and hate that I did not eat anything. Well, I didn't know I was in labor, but I hate that I didn't eat anything because I was starving. I wish I would have known I was in labor. I would have definitely ate a big meal. And it was around like 10:30-ish. Well, I don't know. It was, I don't really, because I wasn't checking my phone for the time and things like that. But basically, I started having these, after they broke my water, I went to the bathroom a couple times, and I felt like excruciating pain. Felt like somebody was trying to rip like through me from the inside out. And I felt that pain twice before I called the nurse, and I was just like, hey, is it too late to get an epidural? She's like, no, we just got to get you on fluids. I said, oh, that's perfect. So they put me on fluids, and then she came back, and I felt those contractions maybe 2 more times after they put me on fluids. And she came back, and she was like, okay, your fluids are done. And I looked at her, and I said, I have the urge to push. And she said, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that just yet. Your doctor isn't here. And I'm like, well, I have to push. And she's like, no, you can't. So she told my daughter's dad, because he ended up getting there shortly after I got there, which I forgot to mention, I guess. Yeah, so him and his mom got there shortly after I got to the hospital, and he stayed with me there until the day we had to leave the hospital. So he was there, and the nurse encouraged him to hold my hand and try to encourage me not to push. And I looked at him like, you better not say nothing to me because I'm about to push. So everything was happening so fast. It seemed like in a split second, my doctor was there preparing everything to, you know, so I can start pushing. And then, like, I don't remember hearing anything. Like, it was all like, I don't know how to explain it. You know, it was like, I can't even, like, it was, I just remember I needed to, like, poop. Like, I felt like I had to poop, so I just started pushing. And then my daughter's crying is actually the first thing I heard after, you know, my doctor came in. People always ask, like, how did it feel, or what was your reaction when you first, like, when she first came out? And it was just like, when I first heard her crying and I knew that she was here, it felt like someone had flipped a light switch and the world was just a little bit better. Like, it just felt so much different, you know? Or you don't know, because you probably aren't a female who had a child. But yeah, I just felt like everything was better. And especially with everything I was going through, it just felt like things were just a lot better. She was born June 18th of 2019. She weighed 4 pounds 14 ounces. I can't remember how, I think she was like 18 inches long. I don't remember. She was very small, and her dad got to hold her first because I was on morphine because of my blood pressure, so they didn't want me to hold her because I was kind of in and out of it. But her dad held her first, and he brought her over to me, and the first thing I thought was she looks like a little Asian lady. It was so cute, just to see her. And just having her like there, like knowing that she was inside of me, moving around not too long ago, and like now you're here, you know. She couldn't come home with me because she couldn't regulate her body temperature. She was in a little incubator kind of, I don't know, she couldn't regulate her body temperature, so I had to leave without her. She actually didn't come home till I think till like 2 or 3 days later, which I cried. I cried a lot because I did not want to leave my baby, but I got to see her every day that she was there, you know, without that, you know, she couldn't come home. I got to see her. And yeah, we had her baby shower literally like 3 days after she was born, and it was really fun. So her name is Zalea Monroe Campbell. Her dad came up with her first name and I came up with her middle name. We couldn't pick a name to save our life. Like, he didn't like anything I picked out. People were giving us name ideas and everything, but I was like, I don't care what anyone says. If it doesn't start with a Z and doesn't have his initials, ZMC, I don't care, right? So because when I was younger, I always loved Z names, and her dad has a Z name, and I was just like, you know, she has to have your initials. Like, I was so in love with him that I was like, I want my child to have your initials. And so yeah, we couldn't agree on a name. So one day he called me. He was like, hey, what about Zalea? I was like, that's so pretty. Like, I love that name. He's like, I was like, how'd you come up with these? I just came out of nowhere, right? And so I said, well, how do you spell it? And I don't remember the spelling, but it was kind of like there was H's and 2 L's, and I was just like, yeah, that's ugly. We're gonna change the spelling. That's ugly. So we tweaked the spelling a little bit, and I just thought like it was beautiful. It was perfect for her. And then came the middle name. He didn't like any of the middle names I picked out. I wanted her middle name to be Mars because his middle name starts with an M, ends with a Z. So I wanted it to be M-A-R-Z because when it fits with his middle name, like, you know, how I envisioned it. And also a woman on Instagram named her daughter Mars, and I was like, that's so pretty. But her dad said he wasn't naming his child after a planet, so I was like, okay, fair enough, whatever. So one day I was scrolling Instagram and I saw like a poem about this guy not wanting a Marilyn Monroe. He wanted a Melanin Monroe. And I knew I'm black. Her dad's black. He's chocolate. And I knew I was gonna have a chocolate baby. So I was like, that's perfect. Melanin Monroe. I know, it's like, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna name my daughter Monroe. Her middle name is gonna be Monroe. And I texted him, I said, her middle name's gonna be Monroe. You know, I don't care if you don't like it, you're gonna learn to love it. And he's like, okay, whatever, you know. I was like, I chose middle name, you chose first name, she's gonna have your last name. It just, you know, deal with it. But yeah, that's how we came up with her name. Zalea Monroe Campbell. I think it fits her perfectly. She has 1,000,001 nicknames. And yeah, my little angel. So yeah, that's the story of the time I got pregnant. 17, had my daughter at 18. I was a senior in high school. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what else you guys want to see or what you guys want me to do. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.